What up, what up? Hope you're well, my friends. Um, yeah, yet another video. So, in these videos, I'm gonna do minimal editing because I just don't have enough time to be editing too much because I got too much information to share with you guys. I got too much heat. So, topic of this video, as you can see, is doing business with family and friends. Avoid it by any means necessary. Unless you want to get very tired. Or you can learn the hard way. That's up to you now. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Doing business anywhere, and especially doing business here in Africa. I'm going to encourage you, urge you to do your very best to avoid working with family and friends. And I'm sure, like, some of you have heard this before. If you have family and friends, things are going to get weird, man. Let's start from the very beginning. Very beginning. Some of you don't even know what kind of business you want to get into, which is fine. Why I'm starting this sort of pivot in this channel is so that I can share what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing here on the African continent. So you can learn what's possible, what opportunities are here. And not only that, you can consider investing in Africa because Africa is the place to be right now. Africa is the place to be. I didn't know this until I started to spend a lot of time here. I've been here in Africa almost 8 months now, a little over 8 months, full time. And the last time I stayed in Africa this long was 25 years ago. So imagine, in 25 years, all I'll be doing is coming here for like the most a month at a time, the most. Well, prior to this, it was 3 months. Now this is the longest, 8 months. And some of the things that I've learned here in Africa are that Africa has completely changed. This is not the Africa that I grew up with, that I grew up in 25 years ago when I was in high school. It's a completely different place. When I was in high school, when I was in, before even high school, when I was younger than that, everybody wanted to leave Africa to go to, Europe or United States to seek a better life. That made a lot of sense. But now, based on the information that I have, I don't think that's a good idea. You already see it. Just try and go to the U.S. Embassy right now and ask for a visa. Just try. I dare you. Oh my God. They don't want you there. It's full. The United States is full. The UK is full. They don't want you over there anymore. It's still not a bad place to be because you still learn a lot. I lived there for 25 years and I still live there part-time now. But I'll tell you right now, when it comes to starting a business for a decent amount of money, the barrier to entry when it comes to starting a business, Africa is better than Europe and the US right now. You can get into business for as little as $5,000 and the right amount of skills, the right skill sets here in Africa, and you can grow that business into a pretty good business. With the right amount of discipline, your due diligence, discipline, focus, you can build something here for as little as $5,000. There's so many opportunities here, so many untapped opportunities. And what makes things so sweet here in Africa is that we have access to YouTube. If I had access to YouTube when I was in my 20s, early 20s, before I left, well, maybe in my teens, I don't think I would ever left Africa. All I would have done is go on YouTube, figure out whatever skills that I needed to learn, whether it's poultry business, raising pigs, farming. I'll just go to YouTube, learn all these skills, because there's so much content now on YouTube, and just put in the work. What I've noticed is that the people that are trying to escape Africa and go to Europe and the United States, they're mostly workers. These are people that are not interested in business at all, which is completely fine. Because business is not for everybody. I get it. It's not for everybody. Some people would just prefer to be workers, but this channel is not for workers. So if you are only interested in being an employee and you're just going to be on this channel to bitch and complain that doing business in Africa is impossible, please, go somewhere else. There are plenty of other YouTube channels that talk about how to get work in Europe and the US. So please go watch those channels. But on this channel, we want to focus on building businesses here in Africa. So from the very beginning, if you don't know what niche you are going to focus on, I beg you, do not share that information with family or friends. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't know how many people I talk to that have shared the business ideas with family and friends only to be sabotaged. There's something that is called chuki. It's a new word. I love that word so much. I've been saying that word all week, all month, because I heard it beginning of this month. I am doing this video in my favorite city in Africa. Yeah, I would say it's my favorite city in Africa. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I've been coming here for close to 4 years now. Back and forth. Atlanta, Dar es Salaam. Atlanta, Dar es Salaam. I love this city so much. Don't get me wrong. This place is not perfect. It's far from perfect. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania is like a rough diamond. If you know how to identify a diamond, you can see the diamond in it. But there's a bunch of dirt around that diamond. But I don't focus on the dirt around it. No, that's not what I do. I focus on the actual diamond, the mineral itself. That's Dar es Salaam. Other cities like Nairobi, I love Nairobi so much. I love Johannesburg so much. I love, what other cities do I love? Addis. I haven't been to Addis before. I have been to Addis. But the last time I was in Addis, Ethiopia was in 1991. It's not the same place. And I do look forward to going back to Addis Ababa after 35 years. Next year, I'll be in Addis next year. After 35 years. Ooh, I look forward to it. I'll just be hanging out in Bole. That's it. Eating a lot of injera over there. By the way, if you're injera, if you're in the States, go to LA. There's a little Ethiopia over there in LA. I remember when I used to live in LA. The best injera in LA is Little Ethiopia. In New York, go to Harlem, right there, 110th Street. That's where the best injera is over there. Manhattan, New York. I digress. I look forward to it though. And then Nairobi's got lots of good Ethiopian food now. Here in Dar es Salaam, you don't find good Ethiopian food. I haven't seen good Ethiopian spots at all. Anyway, back to the topic. I love all these cities. But there's something about Dar es Salaam that is addictive. I know what it is. This place is rough. And when it comes to hustling, I think Dar es Salaam is one of the perfect places to learn how to hustle. Especially if you don't speak Swahili very well, because you will have to be forced to learn the language, Swahili language. When I first started coming here almost 4 years ago, I didn't speak Swahili at all, even though I'm married to a Tanzanian. I didn't speak the language at all. But now I'm forced to learn it, because if I don't learn it, I want to get scammed. So I need to know. So I need to know who's got Chuki to try to scam me. So I'm not saying that places like, Dar es Salaam or Harare or Joburg, you don't learn how to hustle, but it's a different hustle here. It's different. It's different. There's so much different types of, there's so many levels of status here. There are people that live on absolutely nothing. They live on they hear people here will live on like maybe $1 a day, maybe two bucks a day, $2 a day, and you can eat pretty well for $2. You can eat good. If you know exactly where to go, you can eat good. So there's some people here, all they aim for is to make that $2. If it takes them, let's say, 1 hour to make that $2, that's what they do. They make that $2, they go find their place to eat, and that's it. They just chill the rest of the day. And then there's another whole side of it. This is what I'm learning about TZ and what I love about Tanzania so much. There's another side of it also that is ultra wealthy, super wealthy. Tanzania is one of the few African countries that actually has billionaires in USD. I think we have 2 billionaires here in US dollars. There's South Africa, which has a bunch of billionaires in USD. Egypt has some billionaires in USD. What else? Tanzania's got 2. Billionaire with a B in US dollars. And in between those billionaires and that guy who only makes $2 a day, there are also people that are millionaires. And these people that are millionaires, they're all Tanzanians. There are more millionaires here in Tanzania. Actually, there are more millionaires here in the city of Dar es Salaam than there are in my country of Zimbabwe. And Tanzania has a population of, 68 million people? Yeah, has a population of 68 million people. Then Zimbabwe has about 16 million, maybe 16, 17 million there. So there are way more millionaires here just in the city of Dar es Salaam, which has a population of about 67 million people, than in the entire country of Zimbabwe. There's so much wealth here. So there's so much opportunity, which is why I look at this city and even this country like a rough diamond. It's far from perfect, far from it. Even recently, as we're recording this video, is November 3rd, we had political issues. Over the last couple of days, they had to shut down the internet. We didn't have Wi-Fi. I still don't have Wi-Fi until I upload these videos with minimal editing. I just don't have time to edit because I got too much to give you guys, too much game. So here's what I've noticed. When it comes to doing business, when you're picking a niche, it doesn't matter what niche it is, it'll work here. What works here in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, or Tanzania in general, will work in other African countries like Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, Botswana, even South Africa too. It'll work. Doing business with family and friends is a bad idea. Here's why. when you're sharing too much information about what you're deciding to do, you're going to be given so much bad information from family and friends. Be careful of who you're sharing your ideas with. There's so many people that want to see you fail. They want to see your downfall so they can laugh at you when things are not going good. If you're a winner, keep your ideas to yourself. The only time people should know about what you're up to is through somebody else. Like my family and friends don't know about this channel. Maybe very few people know about this channel. I don't go out broadcasting every time I'm out on a cookout or I go to a family event. I don't go out and say, oh, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't do that. Chuki. There's something called enemies of progress. If you're an OG, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're young and new to the game, you don't know anything I'm talking about right now, and you're going to need the help. Something called Chuki and enemies of progress. When you start sharing your ideas, you don't know how people feel about, you doing better than them. Because people want to see you doing fine. Just fine. But never better than them, ever. As soon as you start doing better than them, it's a big problem, guys. So, they're going to sabotage you during the beginning, during the niche selection. By the way, if you need help with picking a niche on your business, I can help you with your branding. I can help you navigate these markets, specifically East African markets, Southern African markets. I'm not an expert at, Central Africa or West Africa. I'm not an expert there. North Africa, I'm not an expert there. But East and South, I'm an expert at. So if you need to figure out what kind of businesses are going to work in those regions, let's talk. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time. It's going to be a paid consultation. I want to make it very clear. I don't work for free. I've collected so much information over these years that's going to save you a lot of time and money. So if you're ready to work with the best scheduled time. We're going to figure out the perfect niche to get into. Because here in Africa, if you get into a specific niche, you're going to make money. Because there aren't too many people that are focusing on dominating a niche. Like I did in another video, South Africans are really good at that. South Africans are really good at that. You know who else is good at that? The Americans. The Americans, they know how to dominate when it comes to business. They dominate. And some of these things that I'm going to teach you, I already learned in the American market. You can apply those same tactics here in Africa and they'll work because nobody's doing business at that level yet. I shouldn't say no one. Few people are doing business at the American level. Do you know here in TZ, there are people that are making so much money, and in countries like Zimbabwe as well, where I'm from. There are people that are making so much money, they're millionaires, but they're completely sloppy and they're probably alcoholics by now. So what I'm saying is they were able to get into a niche, but they don't have the standards. They don't maintain certain standards, but they're still making money. So imagine if you come into that same niche that alcoholic is already making money in, and you stay focused, you stay disciplined, you have the right branding, you come in within 2-3 years. You'll be up there too. You'll be up there too. You can get to that level. What I'm encouraging you guys to do is to avoid sharing too much of your ideas with people that are not an expert at the field that they're in. So some of the things that I can help you out with when you work with me is I can find you an expert. If I'm not an expert at something, let's say you want to get into, I'm just picking a niche here. Let's say you want to get into importing and exporting cars. A lot of people are into that now. I can link you up with the right person who's an expert at that. There are a bunch of, people here in Dar es Salaam that are experts at importing cars through the Dar es Salaam port. And they're selling those cars to people in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia. So let's say you wanted to get into that kind of business, or you wanted to learn more about that kind of business. I know the right people. Link you up, set up the right systems, help you set up the right systems so you can start making some money. Versus relying on your cousin. Your cousin who knows somebody, that cousin is going to sabotage you. Your cousin does not want you to shine more than him or her. Or maybe you want to get into selling handbags, clothes, shoes. There are plenty of places over here. There's a big market here in Tanzania called Kariakor, the biggest market in East Africa. Big, massive. They're selling a lot of clothes that are imported from factories over there in China. And now, thanks to my wife, I learned that there are now factories here that produce clothes, even jeans. I didn't know that. They're manufacturing jeans here in Tanzania. It's amazing. So if you want to get into selling jeans, we have a factory for jeans here in Tanzania. So if you want to create your own brand, your own label for jeans, and you're based in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, I'm your plug. All you got to do is slap the name on there and start selling the branded jeans in your country. Anything you want, we got it here in Tanzania. Also, there's so many opportunities or things that we can get from other countries there too, like, a small country like Namibia. Maybe there's something that's unique to Namibia. Who knows? Like, I've never been to Namibia. There's something that we can get from Namibia that we can sell into a market like Tanzania. I don't know what that is. Maybe Botswana. Botswana is not all about diamonds, Maybe they might have great schools. Maybe they might have... I was reading something on... What was it? I was reading something on... I think it was Instagram. It was just like a thing that came on Instagram that said they have this new institution over there in, I forgot, was it Botswana, that focused on, new technology or whatever. Man, I'm like, I'm going to send my kid to that school or whatever it is. Like, once my kid gets to that age, I'm going to send them there because I know we don't have that here in Tanzania yet. So that could be an opportunity. As a parent, I see that as a bonus to me. And the people in Botswana that are running that school, whatever it is, that trade school, we'll call it, they have a massive opportunity to sell into the Tanzanian market. Instead of the Tanzanians sending their kids to, let's say, the UK, they can send their kids to Botswana. But they need to know that this market has demand. They have demand in this market, is what I'm trying to say. Family and friends are a bad idea to get into business with. Again, if you want to learn the hard way, go ahead and do that. Okay? The other thing that you will face when you try and get into business with your family and friends is that Once you start making some money, that chuki, the hate, and the jealousy will lead to other things, like sabotage. They might start stealing. I'm not saying all family members steal. That's not what I'm saying at all. I have seen certain groups of people that have managed to do business with each other and succeed. For example, the Somalis. Oh my goodness, the Somalis. Shout out to my Somali peoples. The Jewish people are really good at it. The Indians are excellent at it, and the Chinese. So let me use those four groups. Let me start with the Somalis. By the way, shout out to my Somali people, man. Every time I go to Nairobi, I love that city too much. I go to CJ's. I didn't know CJ's was run by Somalis or owned by Somalis. Say what you want to say about the Somalis, but those people are super disciplined, man. Everybody needs a Somali friend so you can learn something. What they do is they know that they don't have anybody else in their corner. So they have no choice but to work together. So when they work family and friends, it's out of necessity. They have no other choice. Who's going to hire them? Nobody wants to hire them. In fact, for years when I was young, because I went to school in Nairobi, back in the day, 25 years ago, it was just for 1 year. People used to make fun of Somalis. But now you go to Nairobi, you cannot make fun of Somalis right now. Somalis are making fun of your ass. You're broke and dusty, right? People used to call the Somalis broke and dusty refugees. Now the Somalis have flipped the script on their ass. Because they work as a team. So you find like a guy who will have his whole family work for his like a little shop. I was over there by Yaya Center. There's a new, it's not a new mall. Maybe it is. To me it is. But if you're from Kenya, you're like, yeah, this place is old. There's a little like shopping complex right next to Yaya Center. And there was this shop that I went to and I bought a couple of things. Over there in Kilimani, there. And that shop is run by Somalis. It's like 3 brothers and their mom. Yo, man. They got a sweet operation. One of the brothers is kind of lazy. But for the most part, they have the whole system organized. The mother is over there in the back doing inventory. One of the shop brothers is up front, dealing with customers. Then the other 2 kind of lazy brothers are the ones that are doing security and doing like the work that nobody else wants to do. The rough work that nobody else wants to do. So they have a sweet operation. I know that little corner shop, it looks like a tuck shop. But I know for sure, if I'm to go to that shop in, let's say, 3 to 5 years, they're going to have multiple of those. They're going to have probably like 4 or 5 of those. I'm willing to bet they probably start in East Lee. That's where they probably started at. And then decided to, get a better location. East Lee is a great place now. When I was younger, East Lee was rough, but now it's a great place. But they probably expanded that way. So I've seen Somalis do such a great job there. And if you go to other countries, like you go to the States, over there in, what's that place now? Minnesota there, bunch of Somalis. Their neighborhood is just for them. Once they dominate a neighborhood, they got to dominate it. And they work as a team, all of them. And some, because of their religion, they will have 2 or 3 wives and have lots of babies. And those babies, when they grow up, they start working for the family business. So that works. Let's jump to the Jewish people. Jewish people, they do the same thing, similar, but they're not going to have multiple wives like the Somalis. They would have, their cousin, their brothers. It's nothing but nepotism. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I think that's a great idea. Hook each other up, employ each other. Chinese, same thing. You find like as soon as the Chinese kid gets out of school, the first thing they do is they what? Go to work for the Chinese takeout joint. I lived in Harlem for 10 years. Harlem, New York for 10 years. And I would have my fried rice and chicken from the Chinese guys. And if you go to a fried rice joint, fried rice and chicken, that's what I used to. I was such a brokey, man, back in the day. You just go over there and you get your fried rice, your chicken wings and fried rice, and your soda. I think it was like $3 back then. Man, good times. Now you can't get anything less than $15 for it. All those three things I just mentioned. Inflation, man. So you see like a kid in the back, mom and dad. They're the ones that are running the chicken wings and fried rice joint. Oh, I forgot the Yemenis too. The Yemenis were running the bodegas. Bodegas are like corner shops where you just buy kiosks, where you buy your foodstuffs or whatever. Yeah. Next is, what did I say? I said Chinese, Jewish people. What's the fourth one? I forgot the fourth one. But you get the picture. Those are the only groups that I've ever seen that know how to work together. The white people, yeah, I mean, to some extent, but it depends. It depends what culture they're coming from. If they're coming from an individualistic society, because most societies in the West are very individualistic. It means that once somebody reaches 18, they just go off on their own, do their own thing. They don't bother working with their mom and dad or whatever, family and friends. So they get completely detached from the nuclear family. But those societies that are still attached to their nuclear family, even the Greeks in New York used to be like that. The Greeks in America used to be like that. The Italians in America used to be like that. The Italians in Italy are probably still like that, but because there's so many generations of Italians and so many generations of the Greeks, I think that culture is being eroded when they come to the West and even the UK, Europe and stuff. And also the Africans, man, we're terrible at it. We're the worst at it, I would even say. Black people are the worst at it. We don't know how to get along. I don't know what it is. What I'm suspecting is that we have what is called a scarcity mindset. And this scarcity mindset is really messing us up. And it's not good. It's not good for anybody, unfortunately. Scarcity mindset makes you think that if my brother or my cousin or my sister or my brother, yeah, I said brother already, is going to get this opportunity, that means I'm losing. It shouldn't be that way. But that's how it is. That's why I always say, do not get into business with family or friends. There's a high probability you'll face chuki, jealousy, envy, and your business will be sabotaged. So that leaves only one option. You look for experts in your field, in the field that you're trying to get into. Or you can work with me. Schedule time. I'll put a link in the description of this video. I'm your plug. I'll put you on. I can show you how to do business the right way here in Africa, because there's certain ways that you can do business here and really succeed in a short period of time. And you don't need millions of dollars anymore. You don't need like 100 grand to start a business here in Africa. You don't. With as little as $5,000 and the right skills and the right like ways to navigate, you can eventually dominate a certain niche. All thanks to social media, all thanks to AI now. Oh man, the game is ripe for the taking. You can take over the game, guys. If you're ready to work with the best, like I said, this is a paid consultation. Don't be scheduling time if you don't have a little bit of cash to spend on a 1-hour consultation. Please. Do not waste your time or mine. I beg you. Because all this game is not free. It took me years to get all this game. All right, schedule time. Put a link in the description of this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bless up.